ready to start talking with China again, or are they ready for you?
I don't think so. I mean, I told them they want to make a deal, and I said, you guys aren't ready yet. You're just not ready because, look, they've been taking $500 billion a year out of our country. It's time that we stopped. So now they're paying 25% tariffs on $250 billion. Hasn't affected our economy. Costs haven't gone up. Inflation's still low, very low. Hasn't had any impact that we see except for one. Billions of dollars are pouring into the Treasury.
The president praising tariffs on China. The White House also announcing the U.S. will now withdraw from a 144-year-old treaty that gives foreign companies, including China, a discounted shipping rate. Joining us now from the White House, the man who pushed for an end to this treaty, Peter Navarro, who serves the president as director of the White House National Trade Council. Peter, great to see you. Now, as I understand it, this treaty gives foreign companies kind of a benefit, a better shipping rate than American companies, right?
Right, and let me say that the whole of government pushed on this because it's ridiculous. We have a situation now where it costs more to ship a package from Los Angeles to New York than it does from Shanghai to New York, and by a long shot. So what that did under this UPU, the Universal Postal Union system, what it did was disadvantage American shippers, manufacturers, and workers, and it forced the U.S. Postal Service to subsidize this to the tune of hundreds of millions of dollars. You know, the president took one look at this and said, this is nuts, fix it. We did in Trump time, and today in Switzerland, the State Department officials delivered the news. Now, the news isn't per se that we're getting out of this UPU. We actually wouldn't mind staying in it. What we're doing, most importantly, is self-declaring rates, which means that the Postal Service will henceforth be allowed to collect the full cost of those packages coming in. If they don't challenge us at the UPU, we'll stay in, but if we run trouble there, we're out.
Okay, Peter?
People love this.
Peter, it's Susan Lee here from Fox Business. Good to see you. Peter, I'm just wondering if is this another way to try to squeeze China in order to get them to the table to negotiate what you consider a fair trade deal? China's levers here is that they are the largest owner of U.S. Treasuries, and they're down to their lowest in a year in terms of holdings. They sold off another $6 billion worth. Is there concern that your biggest banker might be pushing back?
So it may look like this is about China, but it's not really. I mean, China is a little more than half of the problem. But a lot of packages benefit from in Singapore. Interestingly enough, the Germans make out like bandits on this, the Deutsche Post. So let's not be confused. This is not a going after China thing. It's basically the president seeing a tremendous injustice in a multilateral trade organization. But what about the concerns of Treasury holdings, though, Peter? And taking action.
Peter, Treasury holdings, China is the largest U.S. or the holder of U.S. debt. If they're continuing to cut down, are you concerned?
No. That's been an issue. I've talked about that for many years where they have large reserves and they could use that. But I think what the president is doing, and as he said earlier in the clip you played, is basically we've been in a position with China, with Europe, with a lot of other countries where we don't have fair and reciprocal trade. The president's taking tough action to level that playing field, and we're having great success. I mean, this whole new deal with Canada and Mexico is testimony to the strategy that Donald J. Trump is putting forward as president. It's brilliant. We got a good deal, much better deal with South Korea.
Peter, can I ask you a question? The strategy,
sure.
It's Jonathan Hoenig. Thank you for being with us. The strategy includes tariffs, and in fact, the president often crows about how much money is coming into the Treasury thanks to the tariffs. Two-part question for you, if you'd indulge me. Number one, that money coming into the Treasury, where does that money come from? And secondly, in your first book, you argued vehemently against tariffs. You said that tariffs could cause a global economic catastrophe. Why is it that now? Excuse me. Why is it now that you're promoting?
When did I write that book?
You tell me. When did you write that book?
1984. How long ago was that? Times change. Life changes.
What is changed?
1984 was like.
If I can ask the question, sir. If I can ask the question, Mr. Navarro. What has changed in the ensuing years that has caused you from writing in print against tariffs to now being a proponent of them?
Love to answer that question. question. Let's say NAFTA in 1994, China entry into the WTO in 2001, the offshoring of 70,000 of our factories, over 5 million manufacturing jobs, and the emergence of globalism as a force for unfair, non-reciprocal trade, sticking it to the American worker, moving our jobs offshore. So, yeah, my attitudes have changed since 1994.
The first part of my question, all the money coming into Treasury, where is that coming from?
When we impose tariffs,
where's that money coming from,
on iron and steel, it comes from the people who pay the tariffs. Now, I know you're going to say it's probably consumers where it's coming from, but that's not right.
Is it coming from Americans? Is the tax coming from Americans, sir?
You know how tariffs work?
Do you? I'm asking you, sir.
Yeah. Well, tell
Americans
me how
are
you
paying
think
that money?
Tell me how you think it works at the border.
Well, are Americans paying the tariffs?
This kind
the
of
money that's coming into the Treasury,
look,
is that coming from Americans? Simple question, sir.
I would guess that you were on a debating team somewhere in high school or maybe college. This conversation has no utility at all to me.
Okay,
let me
somebody
explain.
else. Hold on, guys.
David,
go ahead.
Take this guy off me for a minute.
Jonas, go ahead.
Jonas,
go ahead.
I skipped most of my college classes, so you'll like the question
by
from me more.
some guy I've never met.
Go ahead, Jonas.
Talking into my ear.
Answer the question,
enough of this.
Peter, Jonas Ferris.
David, can you get this guy under control, please?
Yeah, we got this. Jonas Ferris. Jonas Ferris. Go ahead.
Peter, Jonas Ferris, I have a question. I actually always wondered why the junk I get from AliExpress is so cheap, and I think this addresses some of that, which I think is very interesting. But my question is, are there any countries that we have a similar arrangement that we send out that U.S. shippers are also benefiting from shipping stuff from here that we could lose? Or is this really just a one-sided thing since the Pony Express era that doesn't make any sense?
It's a one-sided thing from the Pony Express era that doesn't make sense. It happened decades ago. It was originally designed in a system of corporate welfare, essentially, for developing countries, where we would give them lower rates to move packages around in developing countries. We actually have this interesting letter from Ronald Reagan in 1986 as president, who said, this is crazy, let's do something about it. And I think it speaks to the depth of the swamp here in Washington, that nothing ever got done until President Donald J. Trump came along. And it was a good thing that we do things in Trump time. The beauty of this is, like, look, this is totally unfair to America. The president actually did something, and we did it quickly, and that's a good thing. Good day for America.
Hey, Peter, Scott Martin from Fox Business. I'll take the rest of Jonathan's Jello shots. Don't worry. Just to the point, though, that Mr. Trump.
I don't even know what that means. Well, it's a pretty simple question.
I'll show you soon.
He couldn't answer.
I'll show you soon. I promise. We'll try him out.
I like the cow suit on him.
Peter, to the point that Mr. Trump made earlier, though, about the economy not being affected here. How can we kind of say, though, that the tariffs haven't really impacted some of our greatest American companies? Because we've seen some pre-announcements into earnings. We've seen announcements in earnings talking about guidance from companies in the S&P 500 worried about the tariff impact. Could you speak to that and how that might play out?
Sure. I say that the overwhelming impact of the Trump trade strategy is overwhelmingly positive. We're actually getting countries to the bargaining table that would never, ever talk to us, and we're actually getting good deals out of it. Now, if anybody's going to wring their hands about how this tariff policy is hurting people, let's look at the statistics here. We've got historically low unemployment. We've got historically high business optimism, consumer optimism. We've got wages going up disproportionately for lower income and manufacturing workers. We've got more job openings than we have people to fill them. This economy's humming, profits and earnings are up, and if there's any bears on that set, you're on the wrong place, because this is bull land.
I just hope that stuff has staying power.
All right, let me ask a final question to you, Peter. The president has talked openly about his goal for tariffs, particularly with regard to auto tariffs, is zero. Zero coming in, zero going out. Are we any closer to that goal?
Well, we like the 3 zeros policy, because you can't just get tariffs down to zero, because a lot of the big problem we have, places like Japan and Europe, are non-tariff barriers. So it's zero tariffs, zero non-tariff barriers, zero subsidies. And by the way, the other 2 zeros I like have to do with currency manipulation and the value-added tax, which works against us in a lot of countries. So, yeah, we're closer to that. We're talking with the Europeans in earnest. Ambassador Robert Lighthizer, the best trade rep we've ever had in history, has opened negotiations with Japan, the UK, and I think another country just this week. And we're hitting on all cylinders here. The president is just knocking it out of the park. All of those, some of you who on the set months ago might have criticized him for talking tough on trade, you can see that it gets people to the bargaining table and it gets good deals for America. Right. And that's bullish.
Well, I hope we do get down to zero. That's our goal. That's the goal of every free and fair trader, is to get down to zero tariffs on both sides. It'd be nice to do. Peter, great to see you, my friend. Thank you very much for being with us. You take a shot well.